All right, hey everyone. We are joined here via green screen.
Green screen.
Game Dave.
Game Dave's here.
No, he's actually physically here.
My first visit to the Tri game room.
So so you may have seen a few weeks ago, or by the time you see this, might have been like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Me and Corey went to a warehouse full of medical supplies and a bunch of PVMs. Mm-hmm. And our good buddy here, Game Dave, was very insistent that he want us to grab one of these for him.
Yeah, put him to work.
And so you're actually traveling further south for vacation.
Yes, and I was like, hey, we could stop off here, grab the old PVM, because we're not shipping this bad boy.
No.
But since I don't have the 240p test suite,
that's right,
Tri's going to help me sort of calibrate it, get the geometry right before I throw it in my trunk.
Yeah, so I've got a reproduction cart of the 240p test suite right here. The reason the green tape is on, if you remember the very beginning of the Super Nintendo RGB video, there's like this little visual trick where you see Mario running on Yoshi, and then it zooms out, and then you actually see the game on the cartridge, and then it changes to a normal Super Mario World cart. And I like, as it was spinning on the turntable, like I somehow without moving, I ejected this cart and put the regular Super Mario World in. So that I've left the green tape on it ever since.
That's pretty sweet.
I'll probably never use it for that purpose again.
Well, now you know what it is.
Yeah, so we're going to test this out. It just seems unwise for you to try to tweak geometry on your own. But I warn you, it can be a dark path. It can lead to never being entirely satisfied. But think of this as maybe don't necessarily, because Corey knows a bit more about testing geometry than I do, so don't necessarily do it just the way I do it. It could shift things a little off if you aren't careful. But think of this maybe as a preview of that geometry episode, which will still be coming in the coming months.
Exclusive.
All right, here we go. Where is my Super Nintendo controller? Here it is.
Tight quarters. Tight quarters in here.
All right, so you can look at. I was telling you last night about how I had adjusted the brightness dials. I thought it looked good when I see on this one. I don't see. I was telling you how I saw the scan lines in the black on mine.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing that on yours.
No.
So
yeah, they're pretty much gone at that point.
Yeah, so you might not really need to make any adjustments here. I like lower my brightness just a bit and my contrast up just a tiny bit. And I still had seem to have like the full gamut of colors.
Weird? The default is almost spot on.
Yeah, it's weird how mine was a little different. Maybe you got the best one.
Mine needs more cleaning though.
Yeah, it needs a little more clean. So this is probably your main, and dang, that looks good. Is this video for naught? Is there nothing really to do? So
you just titled this "The Perfect PVM."
The perfect PVM.
Actually, million views.
I'm seeing a little bit of a bow here, maybe.
Yeah,
Corey says, and I don't know exactly why, but Corey says it's the left side that he always has the most trouble with.
It said it's a regional thing, right? He thinks.
I don't know. I mean, Earth's magnetic field, no idea.
Now we're getting really sciencey.
Yeah. I
can see it even from here.
Scroll test.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, man, it looks good.
Is it? Because it was here on the pattern.
On mine, yeah. It looks really good. I think there might be a little bit of a bow on the left side. Let's see.
Actually, yeah. See. Look at the line.
Yeah, it's just slight.
It's very slight to the. I actually thought it was this side. Look how technical this is.
Yeah, there is a mild bow,
which is funny because I thought it was on this side from our initial turn.
Let's see, which one? Grid scroll. See this one. You can see.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch.
It is. There might be a little bit of a bow right in here, but it's really good.
Slight. Yeah. What about the vert?
You can see it sort of bowing out a little from the top.
Yeah, when it comes in, it's coming out
Yeah,
from the
but
right.
I mean, you're not going to notice that in like real gameplay.
Yeah,
I think I just spit on your screen a little bit.
That's good. It'll buff right out. It's a buffing solution.
Man, that's good.
So really
I'm starting to get a little jealous. I might have made the wrong choice.
Secretly try to get the best one. So really, we just need to shift it to the right a little bit.
Right now, that looks like the main thing. So let's go back to the grid.
Well, should we? Did you already write down the numbers of what it's at right now?
Well, we'll find those numbers.
Okay, let's
so
see.
I think it is you hold. Well, there goes the degauss.
Degauss.
Okay, so I think you go into the menu first.
Okay,
Let
menu.
me wait for the degauss to click off.
There it is.
Then you hold degauss and hit menu. What? No. Okay, okay, maybe it's you hold degauss and go to exit. Here we go.
Okay, so degauss and exit in the menu.
Or wait, no. Menu and exit is the same button. Enter. The lower button. So you hold degauss. You go into the menu, then hold degauss and enter.
Okay, so this is the service menu.
Yes. So we go down to the second one where it says deflection, and there's focus. Corey didn't show me the focus, so I'm scared to try that.
Right.
We probably
don't even need.
Probably don't need to. So the main thing is for what we're seeing now is raster H.
Because really, just moving it to the right. So these are the current numbers.
Right. So H position, we probably don't necessarily need to write this one down. It's
99.
99. So see, you just punch that, and we got it pretty well centered. You know, that's something that you could probably do on your own.
Yeah.
Now, something like an NES game where it's just, or a Genesis game where it generally shows like a solid color in the overscan, you're not really going to see that off-centeredness as much. But something like a Super Nintendo game or N64 or PlayStation where they don't, you know how NES games tend to have like just like the sky color or something fills the overscan. You're going to see it go all the way to the edge, but like Super Nintendo and stuff, you probably won't.
Now, what do we got here?
How that is warped looking, I don't know why it looks that way.
It does that on all of them?
Yeah. Like where it actually says deflection is all warped, but you can see behind it.
So I'm wondering if it's just,
I think maybe
this is centered based on the default. So when you modify it, it modifies the text because of a different layer, maybe.
Or maybe it's a stylistic choice, which wouldn't make sense.
No,
but
which is stupid.
It's weird. So we're good on that. So let's go back. And then down here, this is the big boy. This is geometry.
Woo, look at those numbers.
Yeah, and you've got weird choices here like trapezoid, side pins. I don't really know what all this side pin stuff is.
Yeah, but this is where you got a little crazy and started fiddling.
Yeah, so
it's very
the trapezoid, so 26. Like I'll go back to 26,
okay.
But I'll just show you as an example. Like,
oh yeah, it's pulling in.
Yeah, see, this is like makes like a trapezoid shape. I didn't find it that useful to adjust the trapezoid.
Yeah, because if you look, it's already pretty close, and that seems like it's changing that.
Yeah,
that
and then
angle.
the parallelogram, is a very similar thing.
So it's
15 and see, whoop.
It looks like it pulls it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Man, this one's crazy close already.
It is super good. Let's let me grab you a sheet of paper right here.
All right.
You can write your numbers down.
Paper Town. Old school.
Oh yeah.
All right. Look at that. It's just got it ready to roll.
So, what I did is I made sure that the center line was straight, which it looks really close, but it actually, so let's see, side pin right down 18. And side pin W.
Side pin west.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Either S, maybe that's south. I don't know what does it mean?
It's very odd.
Side pin W is 36. Side pin balance is 13. Para control is 15.
Okay.
And side pin S is 24. If you want to write the trapezoid 2, that's 26. The VS line, VC line, I think that just like basically like it starts to move some of the overscan out of range.
That's 28, right? 3 and 28.
Yeah.
Now, see, I didn't actually go into the service mode. I recently, for those of you that don't know, I recently got an Ikegami about the same size, and it has some issues with it. But I didn't go into the service menu. But I don't imagine that any of these things would work on that issue. But
I mean, Sony probably defines them a little differently.
yeah, I wonder how different. That'd be something to do when I get home. Is compare the Ikegami service menu to the Sony one.
So I'm going to go to the center line here and check for level. I mean, like I say, don't take how I am doing this as any professional.
Is this based on anything, or you're just like, well, it makes sense to start at the center?
Well, the center is where you're going to have the least geometry issues, I think. So, I mean, that looks level. You can see, like, down at the bottom, and you see it, like, bows to the left just a tiny bit when I have the bubble level.
Very, very, very slight.
I mean, you look at these.
And that's going to affect that bubbling when you're seeing scrolling. That's the main effect that geometry is going to show you, right?
Yeah, it's mostly a scrolling thing. Like if you're playing a 3D game, you're not even going to notice.
But it's funny because in that scroll test, I didn't see anything in the center.
Yeah, it's always like I thought I saw maybe something look a little janky on the left side, but I'm not sure. Like, man, that looks good.
So this side seems pretty solid.
I think so. Like that, gosh, that looks good. I almost wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, because even though we know those defaults, so these, which is interesting, because Try's thought was maybe put these defaults into his and see if we can get.
But you know, ours are. I mean, they're just technically a different. I mean, it's the same thing, but who knows? Capacitors and stuff like that can. I mean, these are all pretty new. I mean, these are like 11 years old.
Are they all the same model exactly?
Exact same model. I think one of them is manufactured in December 03 and the other two are January 04. So they're all pretty similar. So, gosh, maybe we shouldn't really do anything. But I'll show you, like, the side pins are where I did most of mine. So regular side pin is 18. So you can see how, if I move that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But see, it moves all the corners.
Yeah, weird.
You can't just move one corner. It's all a balance. So then the side pin W, 36, right?
Yep.
So you see, look, this warps over here, and it simultaneously warps over here. So it's like, it's a balance of all these corners, and it's hard. So what was it, 36?
Yep, 36.
And then side pin balance, 13. See, it's a balance, and it's hard to...
Because you'll get it right on one side, and then the other side's gotten warped.
So, gosh, I don't know. Do you want to just leave it?
I think this is pretty as close as we could likely get.
Yeah, we moved the horizontal, which we had to do, because for some reason on all of them, the picture was shifted left. To close out of the service menu...
Okay.
Let's see. I hit exit a few times, and then I think I hold exit and hit degauss. No. Hold degauss and hit exit. No. Hold degauss and hit enter. There we go. It's gone.
So degauss and enter is to both go into it and to exit the service menu.
Yeah.
While you have menu up.
Yeah. So let's go back to that Sonic scroll test. I mean, that is representative of
Any
a
scroll
typical gameplay scenario. Gosh, it looks good.
Yeah, and if we look in the center, I'm not seeing any. Even though we have that slight.
Yeah,
tilt.
I mean the black edges are relatively straight. They're as straight as you could hope to get.
Yeah, the Ikegamis are not this straight.
Now look how we're looking at this bottom row here. See how you can sort of see a bit of the third row of the of the checkerboard.
Yes.
And then over here, you kind of can't see it. I don't know why that might be, but I mean, we're not seeing any issues in the middle of the screen or really even at the sides.
Yeah.
So this is impressive. You have got a good one.
It's a good thing we got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this was the last. Was this the last one? Do you know which one you got first when you were actually there?
I know when we were actually there. I have no idea what the order was when we picked them up.
So this would be. I wonder if bringing this up would then distort up here.
Probably. It's all a balance. You know, you like Corey says, you
They're not perfect.
Don't expect to get it 100% perfect. But man, this looks great. All right.
Okay.
So we decided, since we were just going to look at Dave's, but his numbers were already really good. So this is kind of dumb and perhaps shows a lack of understanding of how PVMs work, but just for the sake of science, we want to see what happens when we put Dave's numbers on my PVM. So I just bumped that, but sorry people. So you've got your numbers here. Let's look at my numbers. You can see on my PVM how the way I've got it set now, there's a bit of a bow toward the top of the left side and the bottom of the right side.
Right in here.
I've got the center, if we go to the grid test, I've got the center looking super good, I think.
Mm-hmm. But then the outskirts, I felt
the outskirts have some wonky stuff going on. And there's a plane flying outside, and for a second I thought my PVM was going.
It's a fear.
Yeah. So right there and right there, it's pretty. It's I don't know if bad is the word, but it's not ideal. If we go to the scroll tests, you don't really see any issues in the middle, but it's just that it's not super distracting. I mean, if you were playing a game for real, I don't think you would really notice the edges not being straight.
And in comparison, if you go back to that for a second. If we check that bottom, because on mine, see we have
yeah.
So there's that third start of the checker pattern.
It
does start to go away.
You're right. I thought mine didn't do that.
Yours looks a little more subtle than mine.
It feels like there's maybe a little bit of a bow here, but
yeah, depending on the angle you look at it with.
And you can clearly see here how as it comes out of the top here, there's a little bit of a curve.
Yeah, I see like a little, but it's super subtle.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, this is still a really good situation.
Oh yeah. So why don't we get your numbers down and then see just for kicks what happens?
Yeah. All right, so let's see, how's it go? You go menu and you hold the gauze and hit enter.
Boom.
There we go.
Okay.
So I've already got the center pretty well set, I think. I mean,
It's all geometry.
So geometry. So I've got trapezoid 24.
Okay.
I've got side pin 17.
Okay.
Side pin W25. Side pin balance 14.
14.
Para control 15.
Same as mine.
And side pin S17.
17.
See, if I'd taken Corey's advice, I would have written this down before I started filling. I was like, well, I'm just going to experiment a little bit.
Whoops.
And then I was like, oh, but that looks better, right? And so I kept it, and I never wrote down my numbers. So what I'm curious about...
This one is 2 and 26. Let me get that down for you.
What I'm curious about is I wonder... So, slight difference, more significant difference on some of them, but some of them are pretty close. The side pin S is pretty far apart, and the side pin W is pretty far apart, but everything else is pretty close. So I wonder, it's interesting, these lines are different. I didn't expect them to be different.
3 and 28, 2 and 26, yeah.
So, I wonder, these were in a medical facility. If these were in a broadcast studio, I wouldn't be surprised if they had set. But I guarantee these settings have never been set in their original use. But we'll find out. So
maybe start with those two that are significantly different.
Okay. That's a good idea. So side pin W. Side pin W, mine is 25. Yours is 36. So that's jumping up 9 points. So what specifically is this one doing? This one is mostly bowing up here and down there.
And straightening this
which
out.
is where
you're having issues.
Where the biggest issue is.
Weird.
But I think, see, it also pushes this out and that out. So
but I wonder if that'll get affected by the other.
Maybe so. And I haven't really been drawing a lot of correlations between
which
balancing
are connected.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I said, I haven't messed with this super in depth. So doing this together this way has kind of been helpful. So let's see. Mine is 17. Yours is at 24. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. So
we're still getting that pulled this back in a little bit.
Yeah, so
as you can see.
we were at 17. So that almost seems counterintuitive.
Wait, actually,
right?
go back up as you keep going.
Okay, this was I was at 17.
Okay, so it is pushing this out
Pushing
a little bit.
it back toward the edge. But see, now that I'm looking at this, sorry for getting in the way of the camera. See, now I'm feeling like there's this big bow here. You sort of see that?
I see it's very slight, but yeah, because you got this nice angle cut out.
See, what we've got here is mostly in this sort of overscan area. Mostly it's a lot straighter than it was, but I feel like we've screwed up the middle just a little bit.
So I wonder if those other little tweaks would make enough of a difference.
So that let's see. Right now, it feels like the big tweaks have got us maybe in a slightly worse off place for the white stuff in the middle, but the red is maybe a little better. But the red's not that important.
Right.
So
you want to just go through and make them all match now?
Let's make them all match. So let's go just from the top. So VS line is, yours is 3. See how that, it
brought it up a little
shifts it. I think it's adding a line of resolution, I think, is what it's doing.
Always have more resolution.
Yeah, I mean...
28 for this one.
Probably not necessarily. So this one, yours is just 2 higher. It actually looks like it takes it away a little bit. Or it adds at the top.
Yeah, it kind of squishes it together.
Yeah. So, trapezoid.
26.
Just a little...
It's starting to fix it over here, but it's definitely a bubble.
Let's see. Side pin. We already changed. No, we didn't change. Or did we?
That should be 18.
Well, I don't know about
be.
Should be.
It should be on the Dave PVM.
Yeah.
The Game Dave PVM is 20.
Side pin W.
36.
Okay, we already changed this to yours.
Side pin balance.
Yours is 13. Paracontrol.
15's the same. 24.
Okay.
So that would be matched up now.
All right.
To mine.
I'll just enter that to take a lot of that away.
Now look how different deflection looks.
Mine is much more stretched than yours.
Much more stretched
than
than mine. So there's definitely a difference. They are not all same, which we already kind of knew, but we've proven it here. The same settings did not get the same result, especially with this weird... It's funny, it's almost like this is affected based on a default level by the way that you change
that deflection,
geometry.
the TV is always drawing it the same way regardless of geometry, and so we have thrown it even further out of spec.
Yeah, made it funky.
Yeah. You see this bow here? This is okay, but it's actually sort of squishing it in a little bit in this direction too.
A little hourglassy.
Yeah. So so my TV, I don't know if it's capacitor configuration or amount of time put on the screen, but this one is definitely a little different. And I do believe, even though I had this bend here and bend here, I think what I had was a little
closer.
I
think significantly, because you have the bowing here is like, this isn't too bad.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a weird. It goes in and then back out.
Yeah, what I had, if I used my level, what I had, if I put it here, I had it level, lining up to the border between the red and the white, and I had that straight. I had it straight basically all across with the white lines. It was just really in that red area where there was like all of a sudden an extreme bit of squishing. But that's not that big of a deal. And like Corey says, it's never going to be 100% perfect. But
so I guess let's look at the scroll test to finish out, huh?
Yeah, let's just see, you know,
how noticeable it is on.
How noticeable the.
You can definitely see it.
Where's the? I'm blind. There we go. It doesn't look that bad, but if you look like down here in the grass, like it almost feels like there's sort of a little bit of a whoop. But it's not. Even still, like this is a fairly normal representative gameplay scenario.
Yeah, I think it also
it's just
shows,
not that noticeable.
It shows how good this model is. I think that even with it sort of out of whack, when you're playing a game,
it is a good model, and I think it's a relatively obtainable one.
Because it's newer, a little bit newer.
It's a little newer, and there's just tons and tons of them. This was a very standard. This is like, I believe, I saw some people on forums speculating. They didn't really seem to know for sure, but they said, we think this is the newest and largest medical model. So yes, you know, BVM, some higher end broadcast models like the one Corey has, the 20L5.
Oh, Corey.
You know, some of those are definitely higher end. You can't get 480p here, but this is a good solid model. It's a good size, and even if we do have to tweak the geometry just a bit, I think all in all. Like, see, I do feel like there's a little bit of a...
Yeah, right in here.
This looks fatter, and the squares here look thinner. Am I seeing things there? Fatter, thinner, fatter,
there's
thinner?
There's a pinch.
Yeah.
I see like a pinch, like somebody squeezing
There's like
here.
a big curve, like coming from down to up, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm definitely going to...
Go on back to the
original.
Go
on back to what I had, but, you know, let's check vertical here. That doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, vertical.
There's a bit of a... It's right here. It's right in here.
I kind of see it here too, like just
for some reason it feels more noticeable to me here. I don't know if it's just the way my eyes are more drawn to this side for some reason.
And you're on the left right now.
Yes. Yeah.
That could be
exactly.
it too.
So
yeah. So there we go.
So yeah. So I'll put these back. I won't have you all suffer through that. But hopefully this was maybe a bit of a teaser for the long-awaited geometry episode, and maybe if you're careful, maybe you can fool around with it a little bit. But I think a lot of our Patreon subscribers are already pretty deep into this stuff, so some of you may have played with your geometry before. But hopefully this was vaguely entertaining for you all. So thanks Dave, for your assistance, and enjoy your basically perfect PVM.
Thank you.